You're listening to the Decentralized Talk Podcast, your crypto connection.
Decentralized Talk. Decentralized Talk.
All right, guys. Welcome to another outstanding episode of the Decentralized Talk Podcast. This is our 29th show now in production, coming at you. Last week, once again, was our best week ever. Week over week, we are growing leaps and bounds. Guys, this is incredible. This is impressive. We got even more pressing content for you in this episode as well, like our massively popular 3-on-3 fast break segment. We're talking about cypherpunks. Bet you haven't heard of that one yet. We're talking about library credits. Bet you haven't heard of that one yet. And we're talking about zero chain. You might have heard of that one, but I doubt you bought any because it's really low on the coin market cap. Our spotlight is Video Coin. Peter Saddington said it gives him an explosion in his pants. And Midas Man founder, Healthy Miner, is taking it to the next level. That's the same guy who created Salesforce.com, so this might be somebody you need to pay attention to. Additionally, we're talking ICOs today, and we're talking about hot news that's coming up in your decentralized lives. That's right, decent. This is not investing advice. This is just our opinions. Please do your own research when investing in cryptocurrencies. I think we're going to start it off today with ICOs. So this is something we've had massively popular shows doing blockchain basics, trying to get everybody ramped up into the space. It's easy to forget that when you get started in cryptocurrency and you learn the basics and then you start to move on from there once you know how to ride the bike and then you start doing BMX tricks, which is essentially what I'm saying that we're doing, although I don't know if I would really compare what we do to doing BMX tricks.
It's more like skateboarding. We're more like kick flipping the shit on a crypto podcast.
Kick flipping the shit. I don't know. Skateboarding, it seems more complicated than BMX.
More of a motocross.
Motocross is the easiest of all of them. It's just the one that if you screw up, you die.
I'm more of like just a straight roller skater.
Roll. Inline skates.
Not even inline, just roller skate backwards. You know.
I always
crossing the
you
leg.
can tell what generation
Kratos rock that razor scooter, just like
no, not the razor.
My razor scooter.
I heard there's an infestation now in like a lot of cities that like these major metropolitan areas are having these infestations of these like
razor
like
scooters?
motorized razor scooters. Yeah, and they have like your phone activates them. Yeah, it's like the zebra muscle. It's like the zebra muscle, and you can't take it from one city to the next because it infects the next snowflake. So basically, what happens is your phone like locks these scooters, so people can't drive them without having your phone. Right? They're like Bluetooth or like Wi-Fi enabled. So they're
reproducing like crazy.
No, but they're just leaving them everywhere. They're just like trash everywhere, and then people just pick them up off the ground because I guess people assume like if you can't steal it, I'll just leave it in front of your building.
Huh. Interesting. ICOs. There you go.
What does ICO stand for?
It stands for initial coin offering.
Tell me what that means, though.
It's basically just a crowdfunding for your token or your coin or your chain or hell, even your business. If you weren't even, I guess technically you could do an ICO for a non-blockchain company if you really wanted to. Really, it's just a crowdfunding, an unregulated means of raising money.
Yeah, I think the
it's
term
like a Kickstarter
ICO,
for crypto.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just feel like it's not. They try to use ICO. I think crypto tries to like legitimize itself from the finance space, like an IPO, right? So we've heard of IPOs for years, initial public offering, right? That's when a private company goes public and they become traded on the stock market. This is not the same thing, but the terminology and the acronyms seem similar, and so you can have a coin that's been, I guess, essentially public for a long time, and they can still like do like an ICO like in the middle of their like for no reason basically.
Usually not. Usually an ICO is at the beginning.
Usually.
Usually, yeah, but I'm saying there's no, because it's decentralized, there's no rules around any of this. You can.
I haven't heard of any that have done them in the middle of a.
Oh, I'm sure some of those low market cap scams have probably found a way to do it.
Done two or three of them.
I think like one big difference between the ICOs and the IPOs, first of all, with an IPO, it's very, very difficult, if not usually impossible, for a regular retail investor to invest in an IPO. That's for institutional investors. Yeah, exactly. And also it has to be regulated. You can't just, not all companies can just come out and be like, okay, we're starting our IPO. All institutional investors give us your money. It doesn't work like that. They have to, go through a lot of processes to get approved by the SEC before they can even have an IPO. With ICOs, any cryptocurrency, any Joe Schmo can come out and say, hey, we're starting this new cryptocurrency going to change the moon. It's called Moon Coin. Well, that's actually a thing.
It is a coin, yeah.
And it's going to be the first decentralized thing that's going to do everything in the world.
Going to have fast transaction speeds.
Yeah.
Super fast.
And then they start an ICO, and people invest. People just throw in their money stupidly, and then they go, "Yeah, all those grand schemes that we had told you guys about, it's all bullshit." But thanks for the millions of dollars. Peace. So
yeah, and so don't let this scare you guys away from an ICO though. Not all ICOs are scams, but I think Heston, you were telling me the other day.
Of them.
Yeah, 80%. Right, so that's a study prepared by the ICO advisory firm Status. So they came up 80%.
That sounds very accurate. No, I think it sounds completely believable.
It's both. It's high and believable.
Because
I wasn't saying unbelievable. I was just saying that's a really high number.
Oh no, it is. No, it is. I think but when you look at the crypto space as a whole, in all 1,600 coins or whatever, think about all those super, super low market cap coins like the one I'm going to discuss today. And those that have started an ICO, I mean, there's so many of them that just have an idea behind them, but really no development team, no team that has any experience in running a business or coding or anything like that. But you can easily just start an ICO and say, hey, we have this idea to do all these cool things. And all it takes is a few people to say, you know what, I really, really like that idea. And to throw a little money in. And then when the day comes where you have all this money funded by people, and now the time comes where you have to actually develop something, you're going to look at each other like, yeah, well, so what do we do now? We don't actually have a backbone here. Yeah, we don't actually know anything about developing a company here. And so there's definitely ICOs can be beneficial because it's like kickstarting. It's like Kickstart, or crowdfund. It's a crowdfunding source of income for the company. So it can definitely be beneficial, but there's so many people that are going to take advantage of that. And that's why, 80%, that sounds pretty accurate to me.
Well, and also not all coins, blockchains, projects do ICOs. I mean, there's a bunch of them that, they don't have to do a pre-funded coin, and they're not gonna take people's money to work on the project. I mean, look, Max Coin we had on the podcast a few weeks ago. They did no ICO. They're not a big project kind of token. It's kind of more of a community thing where it's all, they're all putting in their own time and their own money and all that into it to do it. So, I don't know. That's just a thought that I want to throw out there for people to consider.
Well, let's get people ramped up real quick too. So as we get deeper into these conversations about ICOs, let's start with just kind of, again, blockchain basics, basic terminology from an ICO perspective. Let's talk about what is an accredited investor. What does that term mean when you hear that?
That's basically an institutional investor. So it's somebody who is a legitimate verified investor through some 3-letter organization, basically.
Okay. All right. So tell me about KYC. What's KYC? Why is it important?
I think that's the most important one because that's the one you're going to hear the most, and that's it's know your what is it? Know your
customer.
Kill your
know your
client.
customer.
Oh.
I don't know why it's know your customer though. It should be know your investor.
Yeah, but I think the term is not really from crypto, and it's not really from IPOs and ICOs.
Well, the
Know your
term is just from
customer.
the financial space to begin with. You got to know who your customer is to make sure.
Legally,
I guess they're basically saying that you have a liability, you have an obligation to do a little bit of background research on the people that are investing into your projects, because otherwise, then it sets up a lot of opportunities for fraud. So if you don't prove that you have verified who your customers are, and if there's no regulation set for, I can't believe I'm saying this, but if there's not a regulation set forth that forces some of these companies to verify that they're working with legit people, then it's an easy way for them to do shady things and leave the liability on these kind of nameless, faceless. I didn't know that the client was doing all this shady stuff. They were keeping all this money in my Cayman's bank.
yeah,
Okay, well, now you got to know your customer.
yeah. Usually KYC involves some verification process. It's ID verification or social security number, stuff like that, to verify the legitimacy of the customer.
Also, of course, it's a small means to an end of putting a microchip in everybody's hand for the mark of the beast. But what's a DOA report?
It is a report put out by the SEC that revolves around the characterization of securities. So that might be important if you are investing in a token that could potentially be a security in the future.
And what does the Southeast Conference have to do with crypto?
Well, the football is really coming into the crypto space. If you haven't been reading about that, and baseball,
Yeah.
Major League Sports are really.
I heard the Aggies. Was it Aggie coin?
Aggie coin, and
Yeah.
So
The Manziel coin.
in the future, we
Roll
think
Tide
the
coin. I
SEC
heard Roll Tide coin is going to be huge.
is going to be the first college conference to really break into the crypto space.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's going to
Be
be huge.
looking out for that.
All right. For those of you who are new, please ignore that last part.
Yeah,
Don't mix up Securities and Exchange Commission with Southeastern Conference.
like people are already out there like Googling like Southeast Conference
Aggie coin. I gotta get that. I
Gotta get the Aggie coin. They're an
Gotta
ICO
get on
state.
the ICO.
I heard that coin doesn't lie, cheat, or steal, nor tolerate those who do.
It doesn't put up with 2%ers.
So let's talk about Ponzi schemes. This is one that so for those of you who don't know, the term Ponzi scheme is thrown around everywhere. Everything's a Ponzi scheme now. Anytime somebody doesn't like something, it's a Ponzi scheme. If they see an advertisement for a product in an ad in the newspaper, and they go to pick it up, it's not in stock. It's a Ponzi scheme. No, that's bait and switch. If they invest into an ICO that turns out that it was just some dipshit in his parents' basement who made a coin and it didn't take off, shockingly, that's a Ponzi scheme. No, that's just you got swindled by some dummy in a basement. A Ponzi scheme specifically has to do, we're talking about like Bernie Madoff, who's obviously probably the second most famous Ponzi schemer besides Ponzi. A Ponzi scheme is essentially you take investors' money, and it has to work like this. This is the definition of a Ponzi scheme. Is you take initial investors' money, and then you roll over some portion of the profits. You basically take the rest of it and give the rest of those profits of your next investors to the original investor as some kind of a gain. And then as long as you keep the flow going, and as long as you keep getting more and more investors, the people at the bottom and people downhill are none the wiser. They get 4 and 5% guaranteed annual returns. And nobody really questions it because they're getting these really nice, tasty returns, particularly in our I guess, previous economic climate. We're not really in that climate anymore, but in the past, when we had, interest rates of 0.0025, people were looking for places to go, and if you could guarantee them 8% returns, well, you could just keep the people rolling in and giving you the money, and you just take the new investors' money and you give it to the old. You could break that out into 5% increments and give it to the next 20 people. Or the first 20 people in the line. That is specifically what a Ponzi scheme is.
That's why it's often referred to as a pyramid scheme, because it's the person at the top that benefits, and the lower you go down the pyramid, you benefit less and less and less until you really get to zero.
Well, yeah, it's similar to a pyramid, but a pyramid, you would benefit less and less and less. But in a Ponzi scheme, everybody just basically makes the 5%. So if you showed up yesterday, or if you showed up on the first day, it's not like in a pyramid scheme, it would build, and so the guy at the bottom of the pyramid is getting a little piece of everybody's money. That can happen in a Ponzi scheme. Like, you could technically get a little piece of everybody's money, but once the money goes into the big batch pool, it just comes out and then just goes out in small guaranteed increments basically to everybody else. But the reason I'm going into so much detail into the Ponzi scheme is because I want to make it very clear there is no parallel between what cryptocurrency is, any cryptocurrency, except for BitConnect, right? That was a Ponzi scheme. That's what that was. But there is no parallel between cryptocurrencies and a Ponzi scheme. Soapbox over. Yes.
Except for all the BitConnect wannabes out there as well. Copycats.
If anyone is interested in learning more about the Ponzi scheme, may I recommend the Drunk History on Ponzi schemes. That was a good one.
I haven't seen that. That sounds good.
Y'all should check it out. It was pretty funny.
What's it called?
Drunk History? Ponzi scheme?
Yeah, it's a good show. My favorite is
Tesla?
Yeah, Tesla. That's my favorite, with John C. Reilly. Oh my God, that was.
Have you never seen Drunk History, Tater?
I've never seen it.
Oh my God!
Oh, you got to go on YouTube, man. It's hilarious. They get somebody that's knowledgeable in a certain subject, say history, and they get them.
Oh, it's all history.
They get duh. Obviously, it's Drunk History. But they get them really drunk, and then
they tell the story.
Yeah, they say, tell us about this specific subject. And so, like, one of them would be on Tesla, the history of Nikola Tesla. And they're super fucking wasted, though. And so,
and then actors to act it out,
reenact it, and move their mouth to dub the sound of the drunk guy. So the Nikola Tesla version.
Looks like they have some famous people on here too.
My God, they got superstars.
Exactly.
Oh, they're hilarious. They are hilarious. Yeah, I haven't watched it in a long time, but I do remember some of them.
It's on Netflix now.
I did. I saw that. Yeah. No, I remember watching it. It was real small on YouTube and stuff, or not even on YouTube. It was on funnyordie.com. It was.
I think it's back when we lived together.
Yeah. No, years ago. That was like 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Really?
52, I think, to be exact.
I remember I saw Joe Rogan basically do that with the guy who, the guy who claims that dinosaurs don't exist or never existed. They basically went through line by line of this guy's YouTube video claiming that dinosaurs never existed with an actual paleontologist, and they were just getting hammered the whole time. And the paleontologist was just, first of all, this paleontologist was 450 pounds, had tattoos all over his face and stuff.
There's hard-soiled evidence, girl. Nobody, no.
I don't know.
Okay. Little Dicky? No, nobody, Little Dicky fan? Okay, go on.
No. But I wish I was in Chris Brown's body.
Yeah. I bet you do.
Immediate regret.
Oh.
Okay,
So let's
that does it on ICOs.
Well, no. Actually, I want to. There's a few other things I just want to discuss about ICOs. Is some of the dangers. I think we've already talked about some of the dangers, but one of the things that I don't like about ICOs, I can see the benefits of them, but the allure of an ICO is that you can get these
Get it
cryptos
cheap.
super duper cheap, super early. Okay, just like the allure of an IPO would be. These institutional investors have an opportunity to get into a business before they go public, and get basically a sale price, a clearance price on these cryptocurrency, or I'm sorry, on these businesses. So an ICO, there's this allure that you can get a cryptocurrency before it's going to be on an exchange, or before the price goes up, basically, and you get them at these clearance prices. And a lot of these ICOs will have stages where you can get it at this price, and then if you don't get it by that time, you can get it at this price. And so the later you are, the more expensive it's going to be, which adds even more incentive to get in early. Now, that seems great in theory, but a lot of
That's why I'm
times,
sold.
yeah, a lot of times what it produces is a company that still doesn't really have any development team and no real future behind it. But because of the anticipation that it's going to moon, and the excitement that you can get it so cheap, people throw a lot of money into them. But at the end of the day, something that's going to be worth nothing is going to be worth nothing. And so if you get excited about getting something cheap that's really going to be worth nothing, then you're throwing your money away. So the real important thing with ICOs, because 80% of them are scams, and I don't think they're all consciously trying to be scams. They're some of them are legitimately trying to produce something. However, they might not be capable of that. So the most important thing with ICOs is to really, really, really do a lot of research. If you're going to
that's a really important
any
point.
ICO, you really need to research the team. Make sure that they're going to be able to run a business. Once they get your money, make sure that they are going to know what to do with it. If they don't have any experience in running a multi-million-dollar company, you probably shouldn't throw your money into them, because when they get it, they're not going to know what to do with it.
You said, you're wanting to get in before it pops. I mean, I want to say I saw some metric, and I haven't read the article in a long time, but and might be making this up, but I mean, a lot of the time, and just from my experience too, in looking at IPOs and ICOs, a lot of times you get an initial pop, but after that, you get a reversal towards the initial, basically, trend line, or the initial investment line of where it was. And a lot of times they'll go down after it. So, you may get in thinking you're going to get a better price anyways, especially even on a successful business or, crypto coin. Most of the time you're going to get a return to the mean before you get a skyrocket. That's just how it goes. So, I mean, even if why take the risk ahead of time? And a lot of the time on these ICOs, you have to put a pretty major investment in to even get into it, you know? So you're talking not only, do I want to put in $100? That's not usually an option. Mm-hmm. You're going to need to put in like $1,000 or, so is that really a risk you want to take when you could get in potentially later at a lower cost and, even potentially a lower price on that, whatever it is, security token, whatever.
What I think what it all boils down to is do your own research, people. Do good research, because like Heston said, well, first of all, like Dustin said, there is some group of these folks who basically are not everybody's trying to scam you, right? Sometimes it's people that just have really, really high hopes, and they just don't have the ability to do it, or they get handed $10 million over the course of a 1 week launch, and they don't have the ability to do anything with this, right? And so they're bringing people on, and they're learning, and so they're going through all their lumps and bruises in terms of growth with you along on the ride, and it's really not fair for you and your money. So do your research, invest efficiently.
How it's not easy to run a multi-million-dollar long-term business. How many people out there had the idea of Netflix but weren't able to make it to fruition? How many people...
me for one.
Well,
I was thinking
exactly.
more Hulu.
But or Hulu or any of those, basically, a lot of people have ideas, But there's a small select group of people that are able to turn those ideas into something that's going to sustain long-term growth, you know? And that's what you got to find if you're going to invest in an ICO. You got to look at the team and make sure they're going to be able to turn this little something into something big. Or if your investment strategy is to just buy into an ICO, wait till it goes on an exchange and then dump it, then go for that too. You know, it's a shady business practice, but go for it. You know, you're an investor. You can do whatever you want with your money. But it's still, there's so much risk there. I just don't see the point in taking that huge risk. Cryptocurrency is already high risk, and ICOs, that's the highest risk you can take, really.
Well said.
I know.
Let me tell you about a coin that is, you know, we say highly researched or highly verified, to the extent that anything in the crypto space is. But that's our coin focus of the day. Our coin focus for this week is Video Coin. Just give me a basic rundown of Video Coin. What's so special about Video Coin, Hesto?
Okay. I will try to curb my enthusiasm about this one, and because I'm really excited about this specific cryptocurrency. Okay, so Video Coin, it's not one of those coins that's really trying to do a whole bunch of things. It has a specific niche that is trying to corner, and it has a specific problem that it's trying to solve. I would say, I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain this. Basically, Video Coin is trying to solve the problem of distribution, encoding, and storing of video content. Okay, right now, Amazon Web Services is probably the top dog in that industry, but Video Coin is bringing blockchain into it and trying to do it in a decentralized way. Think of it like a blockchain Amazon Web Services for video specifically, just for video specifically. So Amazon Web Services would be a huge competitor of theirs, but luckily Video Coin has a lot of things going for it.
Wait, break this down for
into it later.
Break this down for me and the dummies. What do you mean? Like, what when you say video? Are you talking about like Netflix stuff? Are you talking about like Amazon Prime Video? Is that what we're talking about? Or are we talking about
all
like
of
YouTube
that
content kind of stuff?
All of that stuff. Amazon or Netflix, Amazon Prime, YouTube. Okay, so right now,
Pornhub.
Pornhub. Right now, 80% of the internet.
What is that?
80% of the internet is video. Okay, so I mean, just
say that again.
Let that sink in right there. 82% of the internet right now is video content. Okay, so that's a lot of data on a massive scale. Okay,
I wonder. Okay, sorry to cut in. So 82%. I wonder how they get that metric. Is that like content, or is that because video is such a bigger storage file that's why?
That might be. I think. Well, no, it's internet traffic. 82% of internet traffic is video, and then 11% is web data, 4% is file sharing, and 3% is gaming. So it's just traffic in general. People are going to Netflix and YouTube way more than they're going to.
I'm really surprised 3% is gaming. That seems low.
You think 80% is low?
No, 3% for gaming. That we're really off subject here. I just thought that was a little low.
Well, I mean, so that's interesting. 80% of all internet traffic is
That's
video.
believable to me. That is 100% believable.
I wonder what percentage of the content is podcasts, and whether it made sense to maybe do your podcast on video.
I don't have that data.
Well, I mean, if 80% of all internet traffic is video, I don't know. Probably stupid to do that. All right.
Well, good thing we're on YouTube.
With our video.
Okay, the point of the 82% of internet traffic being video is that video needs to be stored somewhere. It needs to be encoded so it can be easily viewed on multiple different platforms, operating system, devices, all that. And it has to have a way of distributing it to millions and billions of people. So right now there's lots of cloud computing platforms out there to do that. Google Cloud is one, Amazon Web Services is another. There's lots of them. I would say the biggest one is definitely Amazon Web Services. They don't just do video, but say Netflix has used Amazon Web Services for all its video distribution, encoding, and storing. So that's basically what VideoCoin is going after, but in a decentralized way. So instead of having a central point of failure like Amazon Web Services, say that goes down, and it has gone down before, lots of websites go down when that happens. Now, the big companies will have backup servers for all these things, but what VideoCoin is doing is a decentralized, just in a decentralized way, so there's no point of failure. There's multiple different ways how they're going to go about accomplishing this. One cool thing that I thought was pretty interesting is zombie servers. I don't know if any of you guys heard about this, but right now, 20% of all servers out there are what they call zombie servers, which are basically just sitting there, not doing anything.
Eating people's
brains. Exactly. Yeah, I'm glad you guys understand the concept. No, so they're just sitting in a room somewhere, not doing anything. And VideoCoin wants to use those servers for something, and which would be to encode, distribute, and store videos. They also, it's mineable, so much like Bitcoin, you can mine these. Oh, you guys can't see my air quotes on audio, but you can mine these video coins, and by doing that, you are storing, encoding, and distributing the video. You are also, depending on how much you store, you can earn more video coins. Let's see what there's a lot that goes into
mining a little bit more, because it's pretty complex how there's 4 different kinds of miners for the video coin. Basically, you can be a storage miner, you can be a CPU miner, you can be a bandwidth miner, or you can be a storage miner. Did I say storage?
Well, yeah, I think technically it's storage miners, distribution miners, compute miners, and relay miners. So depending on what job you want to do, that's the type of mining you would do, and depending on how much you do it, is how much you would get paid in VideoCoin.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So basically, it's just like any mining. They find a way to utilize your processing power, and they pay you for it.
Yeah, so
or your storage space.
Or your storage space. Exactly.
Storage miners would obviously store videos.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Distribution miners would deliver videos to other platforms. And we're not talking about YouTube, Netflix, these things, because what VideoCoin is also capable of doing is producing dApps and platforms on top of it, much like Ethereum. So think of a decentralized YouTube, like DTube or something like that. So VideoCoin is
what are the advantages of that, though? Why would I want a decentralized YouTube?
Content ownership. That's the big advantage. Is right now when you're on YouTube, right now when you're on YouTube and you have your video, you're at the mercy of YouTube with its monetization, its sharing capabilities. If YouTube wants to take it down, they can take it down. Within a decentralized platform like DTube or something that hasn't even been invented yet, you're in control of your content. So would be the monetization you would be in control of as well. So you're just not you're not at the mercy of a large corporation like Google, YouTube, as you would be. It would just be different. I don't know if this made any sense what I just said here.
No, I think it does. But so this is the same problem that I have that always comes up with these decentralized platforms versus the decentralized the centralized competitors. It's the same thing that basically happened with YouTube to begin with. YouTube started out as a decentralized platform. It was just people just posting their videos on there. And then eventually people started posting like porn on there or their like Nazi club meetings and stuff. And so it was like, okay, well, we got to have some kind of like regulate. We can't just have people post whatever they want. Basically, we're going to have to put some limitations on pornography. Okay, well, then you have to define pornography because some of this stuff is, a baby in a bathtub, and some of this stuff is real pornography. Okay, so then we have to define those regulations further. And then they say, okay, well, also, over a period of time, you say, well, I don't understand why it's okay that there's more content on there. This content is something that I find to be racist or sexist or bigoted in some way. Okay, I think that makes sense, right? So we're going to block that content that's racist, sexist, or bigoted. But in the blocking of that content, inevitably it offends someone else, right? Because their content wasn't allowed, that they didn't find to be offensive. And then you begin to block. It's just a natural progression. You begin to block offensive content, and the definition by which something is offensive becomes blurrier and blurrier and blurrier, and then eventually you work into oppression. And then you have where we're kind of going into in the current YouTube, Google, Facebook space, where you have fake news and things. These are the issues that people are complaining about, is that the censorship on these things that originally started out as decentralized becomes oppressive. And so I don't know how this is going to stop that. That's what I'd like to hear them tell me.
So
that's not the core of their business.
Yeah, exactly. The platform's not the core of their business. But
That's just
to
like
hit on what
icing
you
on the
said,
cake.
to hit on what you said, wouldn't it be great, instead of a company deciding what is racist, what's not racist, what's pornography, what's not pornography, for the community to decide? That's the big thing, is what if the masses were the ones that decided what should be viewed and what shouldn't be viewed?
That's probably
And how the
that's
content-
a terrible idea.
content- Hey, but that's what decentralization is all about. Is don't have somebody tell me what I can watch and what I can't watch.
I think what would be a better solution.
We all decide.
Put it out there and then give you the option of what to block, so you just don't have to see it. That's the
There you
best
go.
way to do it.
Put
But
the power should be in our hands, not Google's hands, not YouTube's hands.
because
If I don't want to watch,
no.
if I don't want to watch
totally agree.
racist, I can choose not to watch them. I can block them.
Whoa. If you don't want to watch racist movies?
Well,
Whoa.
depends on your definition of what
but
racism is.
the core of VideoCoin is that they want to basically provide the content to everybody, even to YouTube and
Yeah, definitely.
they're-
The platform is
they're
just
not going to limit themselves.
yeah. The platform is just one thing that will
But if you want to
probably
build an
develop
app
from this.
to only do right wing news, then you could do that. Block everything else.
Yeah, but what if I wrote a dApp that just spammed the site with a bunch of pictures of like my nipples? I just spammed the hell out of it. I just basically wrote a dApp that just created
$1 million idea,
like,
Tater.
Well, I would think.
maybe I should say somebody's nipples who
You
aren't
just
amazing.
hypnotized me and Heston with them
Yeah.
earlier, so I mean,
I should say, let me pick somebody's nipples who aren't attractive. Visualize that person.
I
not
would
me.
think that because of the computing power that's involved globally,
that would probably do
that
pretty
would
well.
prevent that sort of a thing happening.
How would it prevent it? What do you mean?
Well, I would think there's some kind of verification process involved, just much as there is on Bitcoin. You can't do double spending or whatever. I would think you can't spam the network because of its decentralized way, or because of its decentralized manner.
And it's not spam if people love it.
True.
Yeah, if the people demand these nipples, give it to them.
And I don't think I ran through all the miners. So we did storage miners, distribution miners. Obviously, you mine them and distribute the videos to YouTube, Netflix, whatever. Compute miners use their CPUs or GPUs for encoding the videos or decoding the videos. And then relay miners They relay storage from like third-party servers onto the video coin network.
Well, they're
So
also
more
do
more
proof of
bandwidth, basically.
stake too, right?
Yep. Yeah, and that one seems harder to understand. I honestly couldn't wrap my head around how they're gonna integrate proof of
That
stake.
was one of those formulas on their white page that was that was super easy to understand.
Yeah.
Does anybody have that white page pulled up?
I do
Do I
not.
look for it? No, but
Prater, see
even
if
if
you
I
can pull that
did,
back up and read that paragraph that we were talking about earlier, just to give everybody an idea of what we're talking about.
Okay.
And in the meantime, let me talk more about government oppression.
We the people.
We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, created a decentralized app.
you know what always got me? What document is that from that you guys read? What is it?
The preamble to the Constitution?
Yeah, what always got me is that all men are created equal, right? this that's how it starts, right?
Yeah.
Except for blacks, isn't that because they all had slaves? I always thought that was really kind of humorous. Like all men are created equal except for my slaves. It's like they just ignored that part. All men are created equal if you're white and male and from America. I always just thought that it just always kind of gave me a giggle of how hypocritical that was.
I don't think that's what it is talking about. So you weren't just because you were black, you weren't a slave. That's not how it worked.
Well,
if you were sold into slavery, you could have been black or white, or there was a lot of Chinese slaves building like the railroads, that kind of things. So the idea was that all men are created equal.
yes.
But if you were born into bondage, then essentially you were born into slavery. So the idea. So
what follows that line? All men are created equal, and they have the
creator.
They have the unalienable,
Right.
Inalienable.
What is it? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of justice?
Oh my Lord. It's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Okay, exactly. So why doesn't that apply to slaves? It seems like they just kind of ignored that fact that they were just enslaving people.
Well, the idea is that it does apply to everybody, because you're not given.
They were
status.
created equal. That doesn't mean that they were equal at that point in time.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's true. But that is what it means. Is that as a human being, you're created equal. It doesn't mean that the government's going to set you all up equally.
Sounds pretty fishy to me.
No, it's actually
created equal. You just got screwed.
Yeah, that is no. So you guys
got
nailed it,
screwed
right?
by the people that are writing this thing.
No. You guys are missing the whole point. So the idea
I
is
guess
that.
so.
Well, I'm explaining it to you. So the idea
Please
is that,
explain to me why.
I'm trying to.
Yes.
So the idea is that all human beings are created equal at basically at you get life, you get liberty, and you get the pursuit of happiness. So you're not guaranteed happiness. You're not guaranteed a house or a car or land or property or anything, but you get life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness.
Well,
Now,
what would liberty be exactly?
well, yeah, I guess in terms of slaves, they don't have their liberty,
Whoops.
but they're not. I guess. Well, that's
They probably
why Abraham
should-
Lincoln. Well, that's
they
why
probably
Abraham
should-
Lincoln wrote the
Emancipation
Yes.
Proclamation.
Emancipation Proclamation.
Yeah, well, I mean, took them a while.
A little bit. Oh, this is delayed.
I'm not huge fans of.
Well, so also
the
I
founding
want to
fathers.
I want to point out that everywhere else in the entire world has had slavery, and most places in the world still have slavery. So to make the argument that America is somehow like the evil one or something
No,
like that.
they're just an evil.
We're just
There's a lot of jacked up things that happen.
Slavery is
I think
evil.
We can all agree with that.
Slavery is evil. America
Don't
is
you really
one of
want
the
to change
countries
the name
that
of
had
Austin?
slavery.
They
What?
want to change Austin Tech
They want-
because Stephen
yeah.
F. Austin was a slave proprietor and proponent. So
Oh,
they're
wow.
like, well, that's
That's
racist.
going a little far. I mean, the name is. I mean, it's just the name of the city now.
Yeah.
So the funny thing to me is, I actually,
Own slaves.
no, I actually agree. I agree more with the idea of getting rid of the names of these cities, because just imagine if you're a black person in America and you know that you have slavery, like you have slave in your ancestry, and you have to go to school every day in a school called General Robert E. Lee School or Confederate school. That is fucked up. That's weird. I think that's more weird to me than the idea that people are created with inalienable rights, which I guarantee you. I would like I would like one of you to tell me what the word inalienable means.
No, I have no idea.
Non-alienable.
Non-alien. Yeah, I was about to say like not. That means you're just human, basically.
No, it means that they can't take the rights away from you. So that the rights are inalienable. They're not they're not able to be made alien to you.
Oh, okay.
Right?
You know, on my house, the document you signed, I don't know what the name of it is right now, that we are allowed to have an indentured servant on our property.
Nice.
Yeah, that is written into the deed of the land that we own.
I feel like we got a little bit, maybe just a little bit off topic here.
Yeah,
Aren't we talking about video coin?
we were. So I don't even know if I want to read this paragraph now because I don't know what all these symbols are.
Give it your best shot. I just want to make the point that
So this is
it's super complicated.
This is a proof of, this is talking about the proof of stake, and it is a paragraph from the verifier pool, and it says the probability of winning a slot with P to the V in the verifier pool and gaining alpha voting rights is
They're just trolling people. They're saying the slot and you put your P in the V.
It is P to the V. To the clout K of the account, which is defined as the minimum value of staked balance theta over the time window W mathematically.
You know what's really crazy is all of that really makes sense to somebody.
Yeah.
Not any of us three, but somebody.
You know, all those Greek letters and symbols and the P to the V actually have a meaning that has that you can go and look at in their white paper, but I don't want to actually go and look at that and describe all that.
Yeah, one thing. So I mean, I hopefully we've kind of explained what video coin is, but
shed some light on slavery for everyone.
I think the real thing that excites me about video coin, and just like Peter Saddington gives me an explosion in the pants, is the team.
Oh yeah,
that's what sets it apart from really almost every cryptocurrency out there. I think they might.
I would say every cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I think they might have the best, if not like the top 3 teams in cryptocurrency. And this is talking about a cryptocurrency that just finished their ICO and is their alpha isn't even going to come out until this time next year. So they're so early in development. And speaking on their ICO, before we go into their team, they did a private ICO, so it was not open to retail investors. It was only open to institutional investors, and lots of ICOs are starting to do that nowadays. It kind of cuts down on the scammy aspect of it. So more legitimate companies are starting to do that in crypto. But
they probably want that too, because you get a bunch of goobers that invest into your ICO, and then they have weak knees and they pull out, and then it makes your price go violently up and down. They don't want that either.
Yeah, so just because of the CEO, they were able to get smart institutional investors to invest in this ICO, which already puts them, like, sets them apart from so many other cryptocurrencies. But yeah, let's go into the team a little bit. You guys want to talk about that?
Absolutely. What do you want? You want me
So
to start?
let's start off with the CEO because I mean
Yeah.
he's the big
I never know how to pronounce his first name. I want to say
Halsey.
Halsey.
It's
Halsey
Halsey.
Minor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Halsey.
And I mean, was it everything he touches turns to gold?
Pretty
I think
much.
is the comment I heard.
So yeah, he's the founder of CNET.
Salesforce, I think, is the biggest one.
Well, no, CNET is actually the biggest one.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
CNET, Salesforce. Well, I think maybe Salesforce is the biggest now, but he sold it and took out like I think $2 billion of the shares. But he co-founded Salesforce. He founded CNET. He co-founded Google Voice. Was on the original development team of Google Voice. OpenDNS, which is pretty much all DNS right now.
I know a lot of sales reps that would love to punch the guy who invented Salesforce.
Yeah, but I bet the investors wouldn't want to punch him.
I'm sure the investors wouldn't want to punch him, but I'm sure there's a lot of sales directors that love that guy, but there's a lot of sales reps who hate that.
Well, needless to say, also Uphold, co-founded Uphold, Vignet, LivePlanet, which I was just actually learning about LivePlanet today, and it's really neat. They're kind of like what I took it as. Now that I know what VideoCoin is, I kind of see LivePlanet as like a test, like an experiment before VideoCoin, because LivePlanet is basically a hub for 360 VR video. And so you can upload your 360 VR video there. They store it, they encode it, and they distribute it, just like VideoCoin is trying to do. Now, obviously, they have a centralized hub, so it's not decentralized blockchain kind of cryptocurrency kind of stuff. But then they distribute it out to YouTube and HTC Vive and all the places that do 360 video. So I see that as kind of like an experiment before they did VideoCoin. LivePlanet is pretty successful, so they got to test the whole video encoding software. He co-developed the encoding software that Facebook uses for videos. So all the videos that you see on Facebook now, that was originally developed by him, and
he has a very extensive background.
Yeah, I mean, basically
web-based businesses,
top notch,
and video content.
Yep.
Background. I mean,
yeah, I don't think really anybody does video encoding and distribution and storage like he does in real world, not cryptocurrency, in like real multi-billion-dollar businesses. And he's had his rise and falls.
He went bankrupt.
Yeah, exactly. He went bankrupt. He's had businesses fail as well. So it's not a guarantee that this is going to be successful. But I think the niche that he's going after, nobody in cryptocurrency is really trying to do that. There's lots of cryptocurrencies that are trying this distribution storage thing, but not specifically geared towards video. And because of his background in it, he's got a good chance, I think.
I agree.
And it's not just him; it's the rest of his team as well. It's just they're all. Oh my God, they're all.
I don't even know how to say the other guy's name. Divaduta Gat.
No, I don't really know how to say it either. But he also co-developed the.
Those are the lyrics to the Blue song from Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
I'm blue, dot. That's not.
Oh, no, exactly. I think that's where it came from. They were talking about him in the song.
Yeah.
But he also was his
Facebook
partner when they developed that encoding for Facebook video. So they both did that together.
Oh, he was also the chief architect for Intel, video transcoding service, and I know what Cloudera and LivePlanet. I guess him and Miner worked together on quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah, I think Facebook was their first venture together, from what I heard, and since it was so successful, they really got along, and they've started other things.
I know Cloudera just IPO'd not too long ago. Few months ago or something like that.
I always wonder how involved these guys are. I don't know.
Well, Halsey Minor is very, very involved. From the interview I watched,
architect
this
too,
guy, I'm way more sold on Halsey Minor and the team behind VideoCoin than I even am behind like the whole vision of VideoCoin because of the dedication it sounds like he has to this little baby that he's super about decentralization, and he hates banks. He hates Jamie Dimon. Like, I just agree with a lot of the values he has, and the fact that he's like started so many successful businesses. I'm in love with VideoCoin, and just to clear it up, I mean on a romantic, sexual level.
If you love it so much, why don't you just marry it?
If I fucking could, I'd be on one knee right now.
Then you'd be entitled to half of his.
That sounds like you might be on both knees.
Hell.
Don't sign a prenup.
And with that, it's time for our 3-on-3 fast break. That's where each week we pick 3 coins from the 300 level market cap, and we have 3 minutes to pitch that coin to you. We're going to give you an overview of the coin. We're going to talk about the price, the market cap, supply, what does it do, and what potential does it have for your future. I think I'm going to go first today, just to switch it up. All right, I'm starting my time now. All right, my coin that I want to share with the world here that I found on the 300 level market cap at coinmarketcap.com is library credits, or LBRY credits. It's so techie they can't even spell the word library, even though, like, obviously there's not enough ICOs that somebody's already taken the word library credits. LBC is the acronym or the code that you're looking for. It is at $0.08, so 8 cents, and it's up 7% today amid a market that's mostly down or flattish. So that's pretty tasty. Website is https://lbry.io/ I'll be a backslash all around. 15.6 million market cap, 182 million LBC. We got 68,000.
So many slashes in their website.
Yeah, they have. They're all about the slashes. It's a library credit, so they're big into the Dewey Decimal System. 68K daily volume. There, you can buy it on coinmarketcap.com. There's a little link for you to purchase it there. What it is basically is like YouTube for hackers. Basically, it reminds me a lot of 4chan. It's kind of like just a bunch of different videos and files for 3D printers. All the files are like chess pieces and 3D chess boards. All the hippest stuff, all the hottest shit on the market right now, like 3D printable chessboards. There's a lot of stuff about Satan. There's a lot of anti-U.S. government stuff, Antifa stuff, and what's the movie with the guy who tries to blow everything up and he wears a mask? Anonymous. What are they?
V for Vendetta.
Yeah, Vendetta masks. There's like a bunch of people wearing Vendetta masks and stuff like that. So if you're into that, this is a good place for you to basically buy and sell your content. You get credit for your content. It actually is really well done. The website is nice. It's a legit project. It's just small, and library credits are, like you think of in a library. I got 15 seconds. You check something out, you pay for it, or I guess in a real library,
time you pay double.
You pay double, and some old lady yells at you. Oh, shoot.
Sweet.
All right, Predator, you're up. Zero Chain, your time starts now.
I think I should have went first on this one because Zero Chain is basically VideoCoin. And honestly, they don't have a terrible team, but we'll get to that. So Zero Chain is currently 33 cents. It is up 58% over the last 24 hours. It has a market cap of $13 million. It has a circulating supply of 40 million zero coin and a total supply of 400 million zero coin. And it really is very similar to zero coin. They want to do it for free. So it's a fast, flexible, free cloud solution for dApps on any chain. So it's basically AWS for blockchain. They don't have a mainnet up yet. They're working on that still. Their website doesn't honestly have a whole lot of information. Their code's not on GitHub yet. They're actually still in the ICO, and should be finished, was February next month. It looks like they should be finishing up their ICO and transitioning into the mainnet. So I don't really want to go too much into what they're doing because we've already talked about that, because they basically want to do the exact same thing. But their team's not terrible either. So their founder has 20 years of experience in the industry. He's been at Intel, Aviat Technologies. Saswat Basu is their is their founder. So he's got quite a bit of experience in the field. Their co-founder is a security language expert and was at Mozilla and is a professor at the San Jose State University. Chief technical officer was with MIT and Oracle and a bunch of other companies for a long time. I don't know. This was kind of a shot in the dark. I mean, you never know. It's up 58% over the last 24 hours, so it's kind of crazy. It's going to have its own mainnet, its own chain. That's always nice. For 38 cents a coin, I guarantee when Video Coin comes out, it's going to be a hell of a lot more expensive than that. If this one grabs any footing and can be kind of a little brother to Video Coin, there might be some profits there. It might be not a bad one to kind of buy into when it's super cheap and hold on to and see what happens. This is not investment advice. Any questions? No, I'm done.
All right. I have lots of questions.
Okay.
First and foremost, how does your coin differ from Video Coin?
The name.
Yeah, the name. It doesn't. It's free. I don't know how they're gonna. Well, they also have they're gonna try to make their coin stable so that when you buy into, so you will have to buy the coin to store data, basically.
Music Coin does that too, right? Doesn't Music Coin have a stabilizing?
No, they had Music Coin just is. It's not really a stabilizing, but
they buy their own coins back or burn them or something, right?
I don't know about that. I just know that in the future, if the coin price were to go up, like right now, you get one coin for every play. So you might get a tenth of a coin for every play in the future if it's worth $1 or whatever.
That's right. They limit they
universal income thing, or right?
Yeah, but they limit the amount. You get a certain basically US dollar amount for every play.
All right. This week I have Cypherpunks. I know you've never heard of this coin.
I'm in. I don't even know what it is, but I'm in.
There's a reason you've never heard of this. If you're waiting for this one to moon, well, too late because it already mooned, and it's not going to moon again. Good news is they have a Twitter. The last time they tweeted was in August of 2016. That's pretty much when it mooned.
I'm sold. I'm buying it right now.
They have a Reddit channel, and there was some posts on there at one point. The main reason I picked this coin is not because I think it's a good investment. This is definitely not investing advice. But mainly because we were going to talk about ICOs this week, and I wanted to point out how important it is to do research before you invest in something. So this coin is way down in like the 800 market cap range, somewhere around there. It has a market cap of 700,000. I can't even believe that there's $700,000 in this cryptocurrency. It's unbelievable. So what is cypherpunks? I'm legitimately asking you guys because I really have no idea. So supposedly from their website of 3 paragraphs, cypherpunks is a network of musicians working individually and together to make music under the same name. Yeah. I don't really get that either. I think
Everybody contributes one note.
So they're a band?
yes, they're a band. They're a band, but they're also multiple bands under the same name.
They're a
And
big band.
and the cypherpunk,
God's band, man.
the cypherpunk cryptocurrency is like a tipping mechanism of some sorts.
So
It
this
doesn't
is
make
actually
any
brilliant.
sense. It doesn't make any sense. It was a cryptocurrency that was started at one point back in like 2014, 15, somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not.
This is a shitty garage band that made $700,000.
Yes, I mean basically.
This is
Like,
awesome.
I mean, now if you want a coin that's super duper cheap, it's only 0.000014 cents USD right now, and it is up 23% on the day. So hey, I think that speaks moon for me.
20 seconds left.
So yeah, my point is do your own research, guys, because you might just buy into something called cypherpunks. Well, you have no idea what it is, but it's up 23%, so might as well go to the moon. If you did your little research, you'd look on their website and find out that they really don't have anything. So it's
Take
so
your
very
23%.
important to
Right.
research.
Yeah, hey, everybody take a second, go out to Twitter or go to your Instagram feed and look up Bitcoin Backpacker and give Heston like a thumbs up or a like or something like that for getting 3 minutes worth of content out of cypherpunks.
It was not easy.
Some of these you got to squeeze into 3 minutes. Some of these you got to stretch. And that was a stretch. So y'all go out there and show him a little bit of love. And with that, guys, I think that about wraps everything up for this episode of The D. Be sure to tune in next week where we're going to attempt to interview somebody from something. Stay tuned to find out if it's interesting or not. It probably will be.
Maybe it might. I mean, it might. You know.
We try our best to get somebody that's interesting that you guys care about.
I'm trying to get
Hot
Adrian
topic.
Lincoln.
Interest is in the eye of the beholder. I think. Well, beauty as well. But I mean, that's super cliche.
That's too cliche. You got to change it up.
Diamond in the rough.
This is too the diamond in.
We'll just. I mean, I'll say it like this.
Diamonds
Diamond.
surrounded by
Our-
diamonds.
Is
Our
one
show-
in the hand.
Worth one diamond in the hand. The diamonds are always greener.
On the house. Wow.
A baker's diamonds.
No?
Check us out. Be sure to send comments at the Talk Podcast on Twitter and Facebook. Decentralized Talk on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Music Coin. Links to the website in the description below. Stay decent, cryptos.